Okay, now we are ready to continue along. My next immediate goal is to head out into the courtyard of the Duke's Archives and into the Crystal Cave, where I will use prism stones to traverse a invisible path that leads to a Blue Titanite Slab. I'm going to need that for the Enchanted and Magic Weapon Upgrade achievements. And then ultimately we'll continue on through the cave and kill Seath the Scaleless, who is the fourth Lord or boss that we need to defeat to have the souls to put into the Lordvessel that will allow us to access the final area of the game. After this, I still need to go to the Painted World of Ariamis before tying up some loose ends and then ultimately completing the first playthrough. Something I'm going to point out, and what we'll need to do is come over here and talk to Big Hat Logan. He is now relocated to this little room right here. It's hard to see, but he's back here. Hello. And, you know, he's learning all sorts of knowledge from the vast literary works here in the archives. He has a bunch of souls for sale. I mean, a bunch of spells, sorceries. And to be exact, he has about 180,000 souls worth of sorceries for sale. Some of them were repeats that were sold by Griggs back in Firelink, but you need to empty his inventory to advance his questline, which is required to get another sorcery. So you're going to have to spend 180,000 souls here, I think it is. Yep. 180,000 souls to buy all these spells. We'll come back and do that. Hopefully I'll have enough after I defeat Seath and do some other things. If not, I may need to go through the Painted World in order to get enough souls. If you're following along, and I probably should have been a little more careful in saving souls, so I could have just cleaned them out right now, but I wasn't. I think I have about, I don't know, 60,000 souls worth of soul items, so if it comes to that, I can consume them, of course, and cannot consume any of those boss souls. But the soul items here I can consume if I need to. But what I am going to do first is I'm going to level up my attunement to 10. And I probably should have done this, left my vitality at like 40, that would have been enough health, gotten my attunement to 10 and kept the extra souls. And this way I can equip I can attune magic. And I want to attune power within. It's the power within pyromancy. What that does is that's a buff that lasts a minute, increases all your damage by 40%, but causes life drain, causes you to lose health at like a steady rate, 1% health per second or something. The only reason I'm going to use that is to assist in chopping off Seath's tail for his tail cut weapon, to assist in chopping off Priscilla's tail for her tail cut weapon, and then for farming the harpy enemies in the Painted World for souvenirs of reprisal, which I need to rank up in the Gravelord Servant Covenant for a miracle reward. I'll do the rank up in the next playthrough, but I'll farm the souvenirs this time when I'm in the Painted World. I will need to equip Pyromancy Flame in order to be able to use Power Within. So yeah, so there we go. Now we're ready to go out into the courtyard. So what we'll do is head out into this room. I don't remember whether or not I pulled this lever yet. Yes, I did. This leads down to a little room below. There's a crystal enemy right behind, so be careful. He'll come at you from behind if you don't kill him. There's 20 more prism stones in this chest. I should have about 70-something in my inventory. So now I'll have, 93, which is plenty. Basically, we'll be using those to mark that invisible path to lead out to the Titanite Slab, the blue slab. Out here in the courtyard, there's just kind of a big open area, a bunch of blue crystal golems. I'll just drop off right here. There's a ladder you could take down if you were so inclined. There's a gold crystal golem right in the middle. We'll kill him in a minute, but that one is imprisoning Siegemeyer's daughter, Siegeland. And she is an optional NPC, and if we free her from that golem and then talk to her, she'll advance to Firelink Shrine. Talk to her there, both times telling her that we have seen her father, and then she'll advance to the final step for the Katarina clan questline down in Ash Lake, where they'll give you a Titanite slab for all your troubles. It's not really necessary for achievement completion, but I've pretty much gotten it to that point, so I might as well complete it, possibly. These crystal golems are pretty slow, predictable attacks. They are 2 shots to kill. Kind of heading back up here towards the building to kill these 2, because there's a blue chunk there. I was a little slow on that follow-up attack and took some damage. But but this is a blue chunk. These enemies do have a chance to drop blue chunks. Certainly not worth really farming them all, because just between the blue chunks I'll find in the Crystal Cave and being able to get one from the Black Knight in the Kiln of the First Flame, I'm really not in any position. Got a shortage of chunks. I thought he was going to be hung up on the tree, that's why I really did a bad job of avoiding his attack. He does take about 4 shots to kill. So he's dead, and now we will see Siegeland. Go ahead and talk to her. She thanks you. And yes, you have seen her father. And that should be good for advancing her to Firelink Shrine, where you can talk to her again. Something I will point out is you can use your Dark Hand on many NPCs. I want it in my right hand. And if you use the LT, the strong attack, it does like a sucking action, and you can actually suck. Oops. I was at a bad angle and I did like a melee attack on her. Why is it not working? In any event, you can suck up to 7 humanities out of her. I'm not going to do that again for some reason. Maybe it's the hill she's on or something. But I'll do it when I get back to Firelink Shrine. But you can pull like 7 humanity from her. And you can pull multiple humanities from other NPCs. Rhea in the church is good. Petrus, Laurentius, Ingward. And I'm not really in any position where I'm hurting for humanity, but if you need some to kindle bonfires or, you know, even to reverse hollowing, you can pull humanity from many NPCs. She's like a untapped vein in that she gives 7, which is way more than most. So into the Crystal Cave, I'm just going to run past these Crystal Golem enemies, and you can see there's like sort of like snow falling, and the snow is good because it's marking invisible paths. This one isn't really important, but you can run straight through here, and this will lead up to, I believe, a humanity. Then you can drop off here, and you want to drop off on the lower edge and follow this ramp down. And now we're going to see a moonlight butterfly or 2 out here in the cave. Don't even bother with them, they're unnecessary. They won't engage unless you aggro them intentionally. Here we see some kind soul has marked the path with a orange soapstone. You can see the falling snow landing on it. You just want to run straight across here. Don't stray too far to the left or you'll fall off. Here we have a non-respawning Crystal Golem that I'm probably just going to run past, although I may kill him. Actually, I'll go ahead and kill him just so he doesn't follow me and then mess with me. He should take, looks like he'll take 3 or 4 shots. He should stagger at 3. Yep, he staggers at 3, so I can follow up with the 4th shot to kill him. And now we're going to reach a little platform where I'm going to quickly fall off a ledge in front of me, and I'm going to turn around and there's going to be crystal lizards behind me that I want to kill. There's 3 of them in here. I got all of them. There's 1 blue chunk, there's 2 blue titanite. I think all I got from that was 2 chunks and titanite, which that puts me at 6. I think I need 7 or 8, so we're getting close on blue chunks. And now, here we see what looks like a long dead-end path. You can see snow falling, hitting, marking the ground. Coming out of this cave, it's a pretty straight run, pretty far, that's safe. You can see all the snow falling out there in front of me. So, I don't like to come too far before I start testing the ground with prism stones. So I'll equip prism stones, and what I'll do is, a couple ways to do this. You can shoot the ground in front of you with a bow and arrow, but that doesn't leave like a permanent mark. So I just like to drop prism stones. So what I do is I sort of angle my camera, and then just sort of stand on the next one, and then throw the next one. And I'm careful not to go too far, because if that ends up on like the very end of a safe ledge, you could easily walk off. And ultimately what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my way sort of around to the right and then back to the left to that little pillar sticking out. And you can see the item on it that's at the tip of my halberd right now is that Blue Titanite Slab. But this path does curve around to the right initially and then back to the left. So as long as you throw your prism stone and then do not walk past it, you should be fine. But again, I don't really remember the exact shape of this path you see there. I want to start turning. Oops. I'm not really happy with my positioning here. Kind of go this way a little bit. Nope. So let me come back. Do I want to curve even more to the right from here? Maybe I do. Yep. There we go. Now be careful because I was fall off to the left. And just take this very slow. You're in no hurry. And believe me, it feels real dumb to walk off and die when you're doing this. So I feel like I need to go more to the right, but maybe I don't. Maybe I'm okay, because I can see the tip of that platform just in front of me. Yep, so you see I am going to need to go to the right here. We'll give it a wide berth because we know there is no solid ground to my left. And there we go. I'll curve around. I should be able to run straight through it, but I'm just going to play it safe again. There's no hurry here. You see, this is going to end up taking me about 30 prism stones to mark a definite safe path. You know, I've used 70 or 80 in my, when I didn't really know the exact path and I had to test a lot of different directions. So there we go. I've got the Titanite Slab. From here, if you're at all concerned, you can homeward bone back to the archives and run back. I'm pretty confident with the path here, so I'm going to just follow my Hansel and Gretel style, follow my breadcrumbs back. Fortunately, there's no birds eating my breadcrumbs. You want to be real careful, because any of these could be like right on the cusp of the edge of this path. So you don't want to stray too far from really a direct line through these prism stones. And there we go. Now from here to the cave, remember it's just a straight shot back. So that's it for that. I'm done with prism stones. I can go ahead and unequip them. Ultimately what I have here is another path. You can see some kind soul has marked it with an orange soapstone. And you can also tell by the snow or the ice falling. You can see it straight in front. Basically your target here is this other pillar sticking straight out. And now you can make it across to here. What we have over here is a good soul item I want to come get. This might be a 5,000 or more soul item, so I want to get that. And again, a moonlight butterfly that I'm not going to engage. You could certainly kill them with, ranged attacks. I think they can drop blue slabs, but we only need one and we have it. And then what we're going to have is the final run to Seath. And here you see a shimmering light way off in the distance. That is the room that Seath is in, and you see some of these clam enemies that we saw down in Ash Lake. If you're so inclined, you can sprint right into Seath's room, and once you get in there, it starts a cutscene. What you'll need to do once you have control, again, is immediately save and quit, because the crab, or those man-eater crab shells will follow you into the Seath encounter. There's no fog wall, and they'll be in there with you. But if you save and quit, it creates a fog wall, it puts you back outside of it, and when you continue, you can go right through the fog wall and start the encounter over, and not have to worry about the crab enemies. I'm just going to go ahead and kill them. It's not really that big of a hassle. Just remember that the important thing to know is that they don't kite as you approach them in the order that you see them. So you can see that one that's like second or third back is now active. So I'm just going to sort of aggro and kite them one at a time. This way I'm not engaging more than one. Again, I'm just going to use my range. They should be like a 2-shot kill. They can drop Twinkling Titanite and Purging Stones, so if you're so inclined, you can wait for the mouth to open and check. The next one to aggro is going to be this close one. There's one back there in the corner, but you have to get really close to him, so you don't even really have to worry about it. Total of 5 here that you have to deal with. See, this one that's closest on my left didn't get aggroed, the one farther up on the right did. So just be aware of that as you're trying to kite them back, because taking one at a time, it's really not a problem, but with 2 or 3 active at once, you could possibly get overwhelmed. It's not worth the risk. Look at that, the one there to his back to me is going to be the one that gets aggroed last. Okay, so now we are ready for the Seath encounter. So, I need to cut off his tail. This is one of the more difficult tail cuts in the game, this and the Priscilla encounter, in my opinion. What I'm going to do for this is I'm going to cast power with, well, basically, once you run in, he spawns, and just like the first encounter, he is completely, not invulnerable, but unkillable. He can't be reduced below 1 health, and he has massive health regeneration. That shimmering item in the back of the room is his, crystal. And if you destroy that crystal, it takes away his Sword of Immortality and you can defeat him as normal. So what I'm going to do once the encounter starts is destroy that crystal. I'm going to kind of wait for him to approach me though, so that I can break the crystal, which will stagger him, and then I'm going to quickly run around behind him and attack his tail. And you've got to be careful to attack towards the tip of the tail, because if you attack the base of the tail, it won't chop it off. But I'm going to use Power Within to increase my damage and hopefully be able to chop off that tail. If I don't, I'm going to have to I think you actually have to die to restart the encounter. I think if you don't die, when you walk back in through the fog door, he's just there, the crystal's dead, and he's just active. But I think if you die, the crystal is there again. You could come back, run around him, break the crystal, and sprint behind him for another chance at the easiest chance at chopping his tail. If you're trying to get behind him and chop his tail without the benefit of the crystal stagger, it's considerably more difficult. So I'm going to equip all my gear and use the Curse Bite ring for this. The Curse Bite, he does that crystal attack that can curse you. The Curse Bite ring essentially mitigates that completely. Equipping it kind of filled up my meter a little bit of a way, so I'm just going to sit here for the 30 or so seconds that it takes to for that to wear down. I like the Pyromancy Flame in my right hand better. The reason I want to be naked is because I want to have fast run so I can get behind him, but I also want to have the Curse Bite ring equipped, because assuming I cut off his tail, then I want to just be able to fight him. And the way I choose to fight him is to get right up against his body. He has two like tentacle appendages on his left and right. I just try to kind of tuck myself into like where the tentacle meets the body and just attack him. I wouldn't say completely safe there, but it's pretty safe there. You won't take too much damage or curse buildup from the crystals that he may put on the ground. If you do get smacked or knocked back or take damage, just heal and continue whacking him from right there, and it's, in my experience, a pretty safe way to kill him. So with all that said, I'll go ahead and run in, and then basically the cutscene is going to show me finding this crystal, and it's going to show Seath kind of flying in from behind me. So what I'll do again is wait for him to sort of come towards me. I'll use Power Within, I'll smash the crystal to stagger him, and then I'll run around to his left behind him, around his tentacle, and then try to get a couple of smacks on his tail towards the tip, of course, hopefully cutting off the tail. So here we go. I'm going to immediately run back to this crystal. Get ready to do Power Within. Go ahead and do that now. Here we go. He's kind of stopped in the position he's going to stop in. Get the crystal and run. So it staggers him just so briefly. You've got to get behind him. There we go. I got it. So that is done. So now I'm going to get up into that little place where the body meets the... See, I'm doing so much damage to him with Power Within that he's going to die before he even does anything. I mean, how easy was that, honestly? So I should get about 70,000 souls here for that. 86.4, I'll take it. And that was that. And I see that health, that aura on me is Power Within. My health is continuing to drain. That was, I mean, that was as good of a run against Seath as you can get. Power Within will, of course, continue even after I rest at the bonfire. So from here, you can see Power Within is still going. It lasts for that full minute or minute and a half or whatever it is. So I'm just going to, from here, warp back to... where do I want to go? I want to go to the Duke's Archives because I want to see if I can buy all of Big Hat Logan's sorceries. And actually I can't. So what I'm going to do here is I need 180,000, and I'm going to end up using, needing to use all my soul items. So let me go ahead and use them and see where I am. I may be close. 183,000 is ultimately what I think I need. Just again, be careful not to consume any of your boss souls. That should be 30,000 I'll get. There should be another 12,000. 2,000. So now I'm down to the not so valuable souls. So I'm going to be about 20,000 souls off from buying all of his stuff. So what I'm going to do now... Oops. Actually, I'm closer than I thought. Let's go see. Yeah, I think I do need 183,000. But you have to buy all. You have to buy them all. That great heavy soul arrow, I'm not going to be able to buy. Yep, I'm about 7,000 off.
Come again.
So I'm going to run out here real quick. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and make a run through the Kiln of the First Flame and kill the 5 Black Knights and get the I'll get the chunks that I need. I think I'm missing like one of each chunk maybe at this point, and I'll get the extra souls from them, and that will be enough for me to go back and buy that last spell from Logan to advance his quest line, and then I'll go ahead and run back to Seath's original room to get the sorcery I need from him. And as I said, here is Siegelind. I have seen her father, and that's it. So their quest line is essentially complete. And let me go ahead and try to illustrate again. Nope, you need to be close. I guess maybe that's my problem. There we go. So you see that sucked it. And doing this to NPCs, the way I was punching them, that will eventually aggro them. You don't want to do that, but you want to be right up close. And I have no real need for these humanities, but you can suck 7 from her, and you can check. I'll put a link to the wiki I like. I don't know why I haven't included that in some of the other videos, but I'll put a link to where you can see all the different amounts of humanity you can suck from various NPCs. So now, anyway, I'm ready to go down to the Firelink altar. If you do want to suck the 2 or 3 humanities from him, you punch him with your fist to stand him up, and then you can suck his humanities out. Griggs, you can suck humanity from him. Petrus, you can suck humanity from him. Rhea in the Undead Church, Undead Parish, you can suck humanity from her. So anyway, down to the altar we go, and now I have defeated all 4 of the bosses, the main bosses of the game, so I can offer their souls to the Lordvessel. This will, of course, open the door to the Kiln of the First Flame. We'll make one run through this area. It's a linear path. There are 5 Black Knights. 2 just drop regular chunks and potentially drop their regular Black Knight sword. One will always drop a red chunk and can drop the Black Knight Greatsword. One will always drop a blue chunk and can drop the Black Knight Halberd. And actually, I think that one can drop, yep, and then one will always drop a white chunk and can possibly drop the Black Knight Great Axe. We need all of their weapons ultimately, so you may need to farm them. I want extra souls, so I'm going to just wear the... No, I don't. I want a chance at their drop, so I'm going to wear the gold serpent ring to increase my drop chances. These guys are pretty easy to just sort of block if you feel so inclined, or just, you know, sort of strafe around and backstab. They also can drop their... All of them have a chance to drop the shields. You do need the Black Knight shield as well. So that one dropped the shield, which is lucky for me, and a chunk. How am I on chunk? So I did need 7, so that's good. I'll actually guarantee get 1 more chunk from the 2 knights away. I do need 1 blue chunk. I do need 1 red chunk. Actually, I might need 2 red chunks. And I think actually I do need 1 more white chunk as well. So I may have to run back through here to this second knight and get an 8th red chunk before I can do all of the weapon upgrade achievements. Whoa. I kind of tripped on that rock and it screwed me up. And having some problems here. That could have been bad. I would have felt pretty dumb to die to that guy. So he's definitely going to drop a red chunk and maybe his sword. Just the red chunk. Still need a Black Knight Greatsword. Still need a Black Knight Great Axe. Might actually just need a regular Black Knight sword as well. So like I said, you'll end up farming these guys and for their weapons. Silver Knights and Anor Londo for their weapons and shield. The 2 Channelers in the Duke's Archives for the Channeler Trident. You can buy the giant halberd and shield from the giant blacksmith. You will need... I run past this guy and lead him back. You will need the stone giant shield and sword from the stone giants in the Darkroot Garden. I think actually, if you join the Forest Hunter Covenant, there's a new vendor, Shiva of the East, that's only available if you're in that covenant. I think he sells that Stone Knight shield or sword. I don't remember which one, but you can just certainly farm them. And I think that's it for farming. Here is Solaire's summon sign. We can summon him now that we completed his quest line to help with Gwyn, the final boss. That makes that encounter ridiculously, infinitely easier. Here's the one with the axe. He drops the blue chunk, I think? No, this is the white chunk. The one with the halberd drops the blue chunk. So I missed the backstabs on him and just ended up doing regular attacks. And then this is a spear Black Knight, or a halberd, which we already have. So yeah, we're going to have to farm these guys, seeing as I still need the axe, the regular sword, and the great sword. Already have gotten 2 halberds, so we're good on that. And there's another one that I'll just go ahead and drop. So, now that that's done, I have enough souls to buy the last sorcery from Big Hat Logan. So I'll go back and do that. And then I'll finish his quest line, getting the final sorcery that I need from him, the White Dragon Breath. Go ahead and work back to the Duke's Archives. Okay. So now if I purchase that,
come again.
and now if you talk to him, he just is still normal, whatever. Now you see, now that you've bought everything, he's not. He has this, he's gone, buying that last one triggers his dialogue to change to where he's kind of gone crazy. And if I bone back to, well, I'll just run because I didn't rest at this bonfire and I don't want to bone back to the altar. So if I run back to this bonfire, and then run back to that room. I might be able to just save and quit, but I just chose to run to the bonfire instead. Now when I go back to that room, he should be gone. Then we'll have to run back to the original Seath room to find him. Nope, he's still here, so I am going to save and quit. Warping may have done it rather than just resting at the bonfire. But this definitely will work. So now when I reappear in this room, he should be gone, and he'll have advanced to his final step. There, he's not there. Again, his conditions for advancing that step are buying all of his souls, defeating Seath, and looks like you need to either warp or save and quit after you get the dialogue that he's gone mad. So we'll head in here. I need to just come up to this first level. Nope. Yep, right here. And come around this corner. Oops, getting shot in the back. Be careful, because there's a lot of potential to take damage from that channeler up above, from the archers, from any of these melee guys that follow you. We just want to take this lift up to this area that may seem somewhat familiar. I'll mention that way back when we encountered Seath initially, if you choose to die there normally without using a Ring of Sacrifice like I did, remember the Ring of Sacrifice stops you from dropping a bloodstain so you don't lose your souls or your humanity, you stay human. But if you do die there normally, you do leave a bloodstain up in this room, so if you manage to make it all the way back through the archives to where you could come back here without dying, you'll still have your souls and bloodstain there. Now here's Big Hat Logan in his crazy form. I'm just going to sort of charge at him. I was talking while I... Oops. So he's pretty easy to kill. Just charge at him and whack him. And when you kill him in his Hollow Madden form, he will drop that sorcery that you need, White Dragon Breath. He'll drop that Tin Crystallization Catalyst that may be required for the Knight's Honor achievement, but you have to get it to get the sorcery, so it's no big deal. And he drops his hat. There'll also be a chest in here that contains an ember. This should be the large magic ember. We need that for the magic weapon achievement. And then there is one of the, I think, Soul of a Hero or Soul of a Great Hero, a very good soul item. If you take the ledge, or the steps up and follow the ledge around, there it is. Soul of a Great Hero. And that's it. I can go ahead and Homeward Bone. And this will be a stopping point. My next video will have me going through the painted world of Ariamis, and then tying up all the rest of the loose ends that I need in playthrough 1 before moving on to playthrough 2. I'll get all of the weapon upgrade achievements out of the way, and let's see, what else do I do? I get all of the basic weapons I needed up to +6, so that I have them ready to create all the boss weapons. You ultimately have to get specific weapons up to +10 in order to use boss souls with the giant blacksmith to create all the boss weapons. And I think that's pretty much it. That'll be it for playthrough 1. But the next video will be the painted world and the start of tying up all of those loose ends.